For those of you who are already like, what the heck is on your head right now? If you don't know a lot about things we've tested on this channel, Quest 3 accessories, Quest 3S, all the things we've gone through, one thing that I have learned over time is that having a fan on your VR headset is so nice. And this head strap right now, it's kind of hot back here. Maybe it's all these lights just because we've been recording for a minute. But right now I have this head strap just on my head with the fan running. It's blowing air in my face and I feel so much more comfortable right now. Crazy that it works without even being attached to a Quest, but it's just kind of a neat detail that I talk about because not only do fans keep you cool, it's been shown they can actually help prevent motion sickness if you have wind flowing on you during games. For a while now, there hasn't been a ton of options when it comes to fans, but I just got another facial interface in that has a fan attached to it. So let's check it out. Always small, sharp unboxing knife. So this is a new facial interface from KKCOBVR. If you've hung out with the channel for a while, you know them. They've had some head straps and other things that we've liked. K3S fan facial interface compatible with the Quest 3S specifically. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to the Quest 3 and the Quest 3S, one of the few non-interchangeable accessories is the facial interface. The Quest 3S facial interface is actually more similarly designed to the Quest 2. Wow, this is a beefy thing. And with that, you have to have separate facial interfaces for each one. So this is similar. We tried a Quest 2 design of one before. It looks a lot like this, came and learned from that. So that panel, that super chromed out panel is actually a screen. So you've got a 0, a 1, or a 2. Oh, they built in the squish zones in this one, like the Quest 3 facial interfaces themselves have. It's kind of fun, helps them be a little more comfortable. But the debate with facial interface fans for a while now has been, should they blow in or out? They blow in, obviously you're gonna get more air blowing directly and keeping you cool, keeping those lenses from fogging up. But that's air blowing directly towards your eyes in a prolonged state of play, often with you not blinking a lot because you're playing in VR, you're focusing too much, and it can really dry people's eyes out. So this seems to be an outward blowing fan with 3 settings, off, low, high. I was kind of hoping when I saw the different settings, maybe you could switch between in and out, but it doesn't look like that's a thing. These do typically come with a small USB-C cable for 2 reasons. 1, obviously you can charge it with it because it has to have its own battery in there for the fan. But 2, a lot of them you can plug this in. You can plug it into your Quest in emergency and it'll keep the fan running off of your Quest battery, but you are draining a little bit more Quest battery in doing that. A whole bevy of all of their, not all of them I'm sure, but a bunch of the different KKCOBVR accessories over the years. And I have tested almost every single one of them, actually. Good for us. Perfect timing because I'm actually in the middle of testing this monstrosity. Right now it's attached to a Quest 3 unfortunately, but I need to mess with it with the Quest 3S anyways. Test it out with this head strap too while we're at it, see what we think. I know from before using these with Quest 2s and other things, I've gotten to the point where I say have a fan. Whether it's the Bobo one up on your forehead that blows air in towards you or a facial interface one, I think for everyone, the comfort it adds to the experience, the ability to keep you cool, motion sick if you're letting other people test your headset, they're typically worth it no matter what. There's just a bunch of different ones. Let me go grab a Quest 3S real quick. We'll snap this thing on, kind of feel how it goes from there, and then we'll take it away and we'll be probably testing it simultaneously with this, but we'll also try it with the stock head strap with the Bobo so we can double down on fans and get back at you with thoughts. But let me go grab a 3S. I grabbed this Quest 3S for a specific reason because some of you who own Quest 3s or if you own Quest 3S and you just haven't noticed, you're gonna be like, what the heck is he talking about SQUISH points? These facial interfaces had points that could all be squished in. Kind of an interesting springy device that helps hopefully make it a little bit more comfortable. Now this facial interface is a big one and a lot of times it's hard to fit it with other aftermarket head straps. I want to believe we can do this. Probably not recommended, but I want to believe that I can get this on here. Haha! Look at all that fan power we're gonna have now. First impression and a little bit of an interesting side note here. Air is blowing out of both the vents on top, but the fan is only on one side. So if you look right here, I feel the air circulating more around my left eye than I do my right. But it is moving a good amount of air. Like I can tell it's running, I can feel it. Snaps in nice. The white color profile is kind of nice if you're sick of your facial interfaces never really matching. Although this rubber back here is a bit of a gray-ish rubber. And being gray and not black, you can kind of see a tiny bit of light. I'm in front of a lot of lights lights in here. This is not your typical playing scenario, but just so you know, there is a bit of light bleed coming through it. But of course, that's nothing compared to how much nose light bleed I'm having, because this thing isn't really doing anything. If I had a bigger nose, people tell me I'd get less light bleed. I can easily see, like I could probably reply to a text message out of the bottom with this thing. Squishiness is fun, but it's different than like this one. It even has a squish point in the front up here where you can squish it along with the sides. But because of this one, it's got those sides that squish, but because there's so much fan, there's so many gears, motor up here, really the only squish you get in the top is the actual padding itself. But basically right behind the padding, it's hard plastic to make room for those fans. It kind of feels like I'm just such a long ways from the lenses with it on too, but I am used to a Quest 3, and I actually usually rock my Quest 3 without a facial interface, so I can get as close to my eyes as I want. So that just kind of might be the plight of the Quest 3S these days, that I don't deal with as much personally myself. Basically at this point, we gotta take it away for a while. We gotta come back at you with final thoughts after we tested it out, different games, different head straps, see how long the battery on it lasts, because a lot of times these batteries and these things surprise you, they're very low capacity. This is a lot of capacity for a fan, 1100 milliamp hours. That's probably why it seems like it weighs a good amount, but yeah, it does feel like it's adding a bit of weight to your headset too, so that's something to account for. 1100 milliamp hours is a significant battery for a fan, because I remember the first ones were like 300, and it was shocking how they still last a long time, but I mean, a tiny little fan doesn't take a lot. So lots of testing to do, and then we will get back at you soon with all of that. KKCOBVR K3S. Kind of weird when you're holding it this way, I just realized, and it's upside down. Now, remembering the initial, which for you was minutes ago, for me that was days or weeks ago, I don't even know. I said that it felt weird because I noticed the air around my left eye and it looked like there was only one fan. Well, pretty quickly in testing, I realized they've done something really weird with this one. This is an intake fan right here. Wind is going in, blowing into the headset and then blowing out. So this is, in theory, a recirculating fan, which would make a lot more sense if they'd gotten a perfect seal around your nose. Because in theory, if you're blowing air in or blowing air out only, you're creating a negative pressure of some sort. So this is supposed to be circulating the air and pushing it out the other side. Now, do you notice that really when you're using it? No, because like I said, you're not fully sealing anything. You'd have to have a really unusual nose shape, I think, to perfectly seal this gasket inside of here. So no matter what the wind is doing inside, there's still another air channel for it to escape or to come in through. What it feels like when you're playing with it is it's just kind of blowing air on your left eye the whole time you're playing and not everywhere else. That being said, it did its job. I never fogged up once, no matter how sweaty I was getting, no matter what I was playing. It kept the mask cooler and fresher. I did feel like my left eye was gonna get dry and not my right, which was a weird feeling I didn't love, but it did do its job. The 1100 milliamp hour battery inside is a lot. It feels like you never have to charge it, but it also feels like when you do charge it, it takes an eternity to charge up. The chrome screen on it holds fingerprints, and it's just kind of a weird choice, but I guess when you don't have it on, they thought maybe that just mirrored effect looked kind of neat with the whole aesthetic instead of just being plain black. It tells you once you have it on long enough, you leave it setting, then it tells you your battery percentage on there, which after having so many other fans, it is nice that it's lasts so long, but the other ones had a weird skill typically where you could take them off pretty easily and go charge them and still be playing. This one, it's fully attached to this facial interface. You can't have this sitting somewhere charging while you play your game unless you take the whole facial interface off, which was a bit of a con. The padding, that does come with alternate padding. I find I always use pleather padding. I always like pleather padding than cloth because it doesn't soak up the sweat. I did find this to be a little stickier than most pleather I use though over time. I don't know why, but I found it sticking to my face more and I noticed it. It's not perfect, and it is, again, it's only 3S for this particular one. If you have a 3, this doesn't help you anyways. But outside of that, if I was an Elite strap only owner, if I was using this one that I didn't like, it was a relief to have a fan again. I have gotten to the point over the years, I've used so many fans with so many Quests, I feel like every VR headset should have a fan automatically inside. And so for those of you who do have an Elite strap, you've tried the BOI S3 Pro and you didn't like something about the Halo style and you just really want a headset with a fan on it, this gives you that option with pretty much any Elite strap. One weirdly unsung benefit that I loved was that it added this little piece to the top. Because for me, I'm switching out head straps all the time, I'm testing different ones, and I just loved how easy it was to just slide that through and quickly do that versus your usual process of a lot of times removing whatever facial interface you have and then putting it in and then reattaching your facial interface or trying to fight around it. And it was just It was a little detail that I really appreciated. So overall, is it a must-have? No. Is it a nice luxury and a decent fan out of the fans out there that I've tried so far? Yes. I would say if you're gonna rock an Elite strap, get some kind of fan, whether it's this or something else. And there's plenty of you out there that don't have a fan or are like, oh, I've had one, I've never used it. I just feel like, especially maybe it's my climate where I'm at, but when I use a fan all the time and then I switch to a headset that doesn't have one, I notice it instantly and I miss it constantly. Not to mention the fact that if I'm putting someone else new in VR, I turn the fan on for them just knowing it's gonna help prevent them from getting motion sick. It's gonna help keep them cooler, comfortable. It's a luxury, but it's a luxury that I've done for so long now, I'm finding it to be a necessity. So take that as you will. Maybe that's not how you feel about it. I'd love to know in the comments how you do feel about it. Have you tried fans? Do you have one that you only turn on for fitness? Is my cat going crazy out there? Yes. But let me know in the comments down below how you feel about fans in general, which ones you've tried. If there's some others you like and recommend, drop them down there so other people can see that too and help them make an informed decision. Whatever you're doing in VR, I think fans are good, even if it's just a box fan in the room, a ceiling fan overhead. Airflow is good. Keeps you cool, keeps you from getting sick. Airflow is important. But thank you for being here with me once again, and I'll see you in another reality.